Jake? Jake said, "You all have copies of the letter Seth Hubbard wrote to you when he mailed along his last will and testament. His instructions to me are rather explicit. His wishes and desires regarding his 2 adult children could not be clearer. I suggest you all read the letter again and the will. I represent the estate, and I have my marching orders. My job is to uphold Mr. Hubbard's will and see to it that his children get nothing. I have no choice. I will not be a part of any compromise or settlement." "Should you discuss this with your client?" Stillman said. "My client is the estate, which is represented by Mr. Quince London, the administrator. I'm talking about Lady Lang, and I don't represent Lady Lang. We have the same interest, the validation of the handwritten will, but I'm not her lawyer. I've made that clear to everyone, especially to her. As an interested party, she has the right to hire a lawyer, which she tried once, but he wound up in jail." "I found a Minnesota booker," Wade Lanier said, and again got a few laughs. Jake pressed on. "My point is that I'm not her lawyer." Stillman said, "Sure, Jake, technically, but right now you have more influence with her than anyone else. Hell, her daughter is your paralegal or secretary or whatever." "I have quite a staff." Wade Lanier said, "You can't tell us, Jay, that if you went to Letty and told her she could walk away with over $3 million in 2 months, hell, 2 weeks, she wouldn't grab the deal and run. I don't know what she would. She's a proud woman who feels scorned by the community. She wants her day in court. $3 million might ease some of the storm," Lanier said. "Perhaps, but I will not be a part of a compromise. If the court wishes, I will resign as the attorney for the estate. But as long as I'm here, I'm not authorized to settle." Judge Otley reeled his pipe with a match and blew some more smoke. He leaned forward on his elbows and said, "Gentlemen, I think he's right. If this will is proven to be valid, that is, if the jury believes Mr. Hubbard was of sound mind and not unduly influenced, then we have no choice but to follow the terms of the will. It is explicit. The adult children get nothing." "Me," Wade Lanier thought to himself, "but you don't know what I know. You haven't seen the Irene Pickett court. You don't know that Miss Letty Lang has a history of worming her way into the private matters of her employers, and when the jury hears and sees this, the adult children of Seth Hubbard will do quite well." Jake's principal defense of his dead client's last will, as well as his somewhat cocky belief that the trial should be held in Clinton, in his courtroom, was severely shaken by a tragedy that occurred later that night in an ice storm near the town of Lake Village in the southern part of Fort County. 2 brothers, Kyle and Bo Logsdon, were driving home after a high school basketball game. Kyle was Clinton High's senior point guard. Bo was a sophomore substitute. An eyewitness in a car behind them said the driver, Kyle, was proceeding with caution, not in a hurry, and handling the road conditions with skill. Another vehicle topped the hill at a high rate of speed and began sliding. The witness watched in horror as a crash became inevitable. He estimated Kyle was driving about 40 miles per hour. The other vehicle, an old pickup, much faster than that. The head-on collision sent the Rostons' small Toyota flipping through the air and into a ditch. The pickup spun wildly into a field as debris littered the road. The witness was able to stop in time and give assistance. Kyle died at the scene. Bo was extracted by rescue personnel and taken to the hospital in Clinton, where he immediately went into surgery. The trauma to his head was severe. and he was barely alive. The other driver was also hospitalized, but his injuries were not serious. His blood alcohol content was twice the legal limit. A deputy was parked outside his room. The other driver was Simeon Lang. Ozzie called Jake just after midnight and awakened him from a deep sleep. 15 minutes later, Ozzie stopped in front of the house, and Jake Jake hustled outside and into the sheriff's car. The ice was worse and the streets were slick, and as they crept through town, Ozzie gave an update. The second boy was still in surgery, but things looked well. As far as Ozzie could tell at that point, Simeon had not been drinking in a local honky-tonk. According to Letty, who was already at the hospital, he had not been home in over a week. She thought he was returning from a long haul, though he was not carrying cash or a paycheck. He had a broken nose, but was otherwise unhurt. The drunks always walk away from their wrecks, Ozzie said. They found Letty and Portia hiding at the end of the long hall, not far from Simeon's room. Both were crying, distraught, almost inconsolable. Jake sat with them while Ozzie left to check on other matters. After a few minutes with little conversation, Letty walked away to find the restaurant. As soon as she was gone, Portia said, 2 years ago, I was 14 and in a night out, and I begged her to leave me. He was hitting her back there. I saw it. I said, please, Mom, let's get away from him. Go somewhere else. I think maybe she tried, but she's always been afraid of him. Not on the purpose, though. What'll happen to him, Jake? She raked tears off her cheeks with the back of her hand. Barely above a whisper, Jake said, nothing good. Assuming everything is his fault, and that he was drunk, he's looking at vehicular homicide. One count is a fact. What's he planning? 5 to 25. The judge has a lot of discretion. And you can't get out of it. No, I see your way. Hallelujah. He'll finally be gone for a long time. She cupped both hands over her mouth and nose and sobbed hard. Those poor boys, she kept saying. The crowd continued to grow around the waiting area on the hospital's main road. Ozzie spoke to Jeff and Evelyn Nelson, parents, who were too stunned to say much. He talked to one of the boys' uncles and explained that Simeon Lang was in custody and would be moved to the jail within hours. Yes, he was drunk. Still is. I'm very sorry. You better get him out of here, the uncle said, nodding to a group of men nearby. Angry, distraught men, rural types, raised around guns and rifles, and upset enough to do something drastic. Others joined them,